Hey, Antifa, you're being put on notice. Consider yourselves warned that America is not going to tolerate your nonsense anymore. American patriots have taken back the streets in Portland, chanting USA to drown out, all the other stuff that's going on over there. By the way, it's not going so great for Antifa, particularly the heavyset ones. There was according to Andy Ngo, a far-left riot suspect who refused to comply during an arrest. He was too heavy-set to be safely carried by the federal agents, so they used a hand trolley to wheel him inside. I believe they call that FAFO. We're going to get into that. We are actually going to take you on a live look on the streets of Portland, Oregon, and it all starts right now. Welcome to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. So, wow, there is a lot that has transpired in Portland, Oregon after, of course, what we've talked about, months of Antifa causing terror at these local neighborhoods who just happen to be living next to the ICE facilities. They are taking over portions of the city, even though local leaders will tell you that they're not. I'll get into that. And Patriots are saying, you know what, we're done. We're done, actually. So a recap in case you've missed it. They've had, for months now, they've had Antifa thugs stationed outside the ICE facility in Portland. They're having, all of these massive showdowns with agents. They're throwing fireworks. There has been tear gas dispersed. And most importantly, because this is having to deal with innocent people standing by, they're keeping all the locals up at night and day. Just pure terror for these people who have nothing to do with it. They just so happen to live next to an ICE facility. So now that has all been brewing to a head, President Trump wants to call in the National Guard to keep the peace. But instead of accepting help, what do you know? Another rogue federal judge who thinks that they should be president, apparently, has blocked him from sending in the National Guard. So I guess this is we're just supposed to accept that this is America now, right? We're just supposed to say, oh, okay, that's fine. Antifa can take over streets. Antifa can prevent law enforcement from doing their damn jobs. No, it's totally, Antifa can assault officers, can assault random passersby, can bully and intimidate locals. That's just fine, because a rogue judge says Donald Trump doesn't have the power as the highest executive in the land to disperse the federal troops, the National Guard, when the leaders in Portland have decided they're just going to neglect their own duties. Well, here's the thing. The Democrats keep insisting there's no problem at all, actually, just like the governor in Oregon.
Portland is not war ravaged. There's no insurrection. There's no threat to national security, and there's no need for military troops. Military service members should be dedicated to real emergencies.
It catches me off guard every time I see that Chris Hayes is the governor over in Oregon. It's like, this is the meme. This is literally the everything is fine meme. We're seeing the fire, the fireworks, the Molotov cocktails, the tear gas dispersed, and Governor of Oregon says, it's just everything's fine. There's nothing to see here. It's a beautiful place to live. Watch me while I hold hands with my wife walking down the street. And this is another 2020 moment. It's mostly peaceful. Don't mind the cities burning behind me. It's mostly peaceful. And we've already seen what has happened with our friend, conservative journalist Nick Sorter, when he was arrested after he was the one who was assaulted. And by the way, in case you guys haven't seen the newest video showing the assault from a different angle, a much better angle where you can see he clearly was the victim, here it is.
I'm walking down the street.
So, of course, Nick is in the gray hoodie.
Get out of here.
He's simply trying to walk down the street. They keep pushing up into him, running into him.
Get out of here.
As most of these thugs do, he has a large gut that he keeps running into Nick. Nick tries to defend himself, and then they push him with the umbrella into a hole and then laugh. Now, as of the time of this taping, there's another scuffle. As of the time of this taping, Nick is actually in court over these charges. His arraignment is today. But guess what? He was assaulted again over the weekend. And again. Nothing for the real criminals. No punishment for the real criminals. Antifa have been setting up all of these encampment tents. They're blocking the entire sidewalk. So the sidewalk that Oregon residents pay for in their taxes now do not belong to any citizens who would like to walk down the sidewalk. So when Nick tried to walk down the sidewalk, once again, where these dumb tents are, this is what happened.
Been assaulted here, and we're live, right? We got it. Okay. So now you're gonna get assaulted. You're gonna be pushed. You're gonna be. Don't do that. Where'd it go? I don't know, man. I got you.
And Nick goes back for his flag that they pulled. This was the same flag that he stomped out when it was on fire. So got out the fire. Someone was burning it, and he decided to save that flag. And so he went back for that American flag that he prevented the first night he was arrested from burning to smithereens. Does everything look fine to you? Is that fine? Everything's fine, Tina? Chris Hayes? Rachel Maddow? Mark Cuban, whoever you are? Is that fine? That is, of course, a Democrat utopia, apparently. And so when you see that Democrat-run cities will not actually handle things, will not actually address things, patriots in this country decided, you know what? We're going to show up instead. You had a bunch of young men, as I mentioned, who went out and started chanting USA to drown out Antifa and all of their cursing and rioting. And you've got even more patriots showing up saying, you know what? We're going to challenge the city of Portland, but we're going to do it in a respectful, constitutional way. You want to allow Antifa to take over the sidewalks with their medic tents? What happens when we do the same thing? Watch.
Here's what we're going to do. Because the Portland police, I don't think it matters if you want to walk down the street. Antifa's allowed to own this side of the street over here. These are alleged medic tents. So this is what we're going to do tomorrow. Tomorrow, this side of the street is going to belong to us. Because apparently, you can just claim sidewalks in Portland as your own and prevent anybody from moving down them. So my curiosity is simply whether or not we are going to be held to the same standard as Antifa. Because I know for a fact that people that live in this building, because I've talked to them all day long, they are actually upset of all the tear gas, all the rioting, everything else that's going on inside that building. So I'm checking out my hotel tomorrow. And you know what? I'm a Green Beret. I've slept in a hell of a lot worse places than the streets of Portland. I need some folks to help me pull Firewatch. Get down here.
Joining me now is the man you just saw in that video, Matt Tardio. He is the host of the Speak the Truth podcast out there in the streets. Matt, how is the mission going with the tents and seeing if, Portland police is going to treat you guys the same way out there tonight?
We're about to find out now, aren't we? We are about to find out. I actually saw so they have the liaison officers that come out here and they're wearing white shirts and they don't enforce the law. They're like a panic 911 over the radio, so just a little bit quicker. They do their best to try to deconflict some of the other situations, but they also ignore a lot of things. So I want to, as soon as this interview is done, go talk to the actual law enforcement officer, not the liaison officer, about what we're going to be doing tonight and try to coordinate with them. So we're going to see how it goes.
So I'm going to share something that I think you'll be fine with, that I heard going on behind the scenes before we started this interview. You were getting set up with my control room and you said to them, please, someone let me know if someone comes up behind me, if one of these people comes up behind me, because I can't see and they're very violent.
Yeah, correct. There is. So it's not all of them that are very violent, but they do have the more extremist side that's always amongst them. There's a female walking around with a baseball bat. One of them jumped up to one of my friends that I met while I was out here and said, what are you going to do now, B? And went to go pull a hard metal object out of her shirt and luckily got stuck. She got wrapped up and started running the other way. Hopefully the police actually do their job and arrest her. But the police, even though I pointed out I'm a former law enforcement officer, I talked to all the liaison officers. They know I'm an honest person. I've actually provided them probably about I'm on 3 different case reports for being an honest human being and correcting the record out here with them. And even though for the first time ever, I pointed out and said, that lady is a violent individual and just felony menaced my friend with a hard metal object in her pocket that got stuck and now she's running away. They were just like, oh, really? And just let it happen.
Oh my gosh.
Same thing when Nick got assaulted last night. You would think that they would have detained people and then conducted an investigation. That's actually not what happened at all. They actually went over and they arrested the gentleman who's actually defending himself and then kind of whisked it all away. And we had to go over and be like, hey, evidence, 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 evidence. There was no investigation until we start pushing for it.
Right.
So yes, they are very violent. They block the streets. They think they belong to them. It's sad.
And that's Antifa behind you?
So you have a mix, right?
Okay.
There is some old women out here like that. There's old women and old men, but there is other Antifa portions. There's some people that are just very passionate about this entire thing. They're just quite literally passionate about being out here. Like this is right over here where these people are standing behind me, where this little gazebo is at. I can't even tell if I'm blocking at this point. Yes, right over this shoulder. Whew.
Yeah, we can see him. Yeah.
So right over here. Sorry, guys. It's been a long day. Trust me.
I hear
Literally,
you.
I was getting 2 fights is what we introduced. So right over here in front of this gazebo, there's actually a memorial for children that the protesters had set up. And they had told me, I actually talked to an Antifa girl at like 3 o'clock in the morning that was sitting out here defending it. It is a memorial for children. If somebody went over, and the story she told me was some dead children that during an ice raid or something, they got killed. It's great. I'm sorry, I was very tired. I don't remember the entire story. Either way, it's a memorial for dead children. We can disagree on a lot of things. Messing with children's memorials is not going to be one. If anybody went over and messed with one of my buddies' graves that died in combat, we're going to have problems. And I'm going to have problems with anybody that messes with that one as well. That's a handoff subject. If we lose something as simple as basic morals, we're done.
Yeah, I agree. So what's the response been like for anyone who will be joining you or have already joined you on the scene? Like what do you plan? What is the plan for tonight? What do you expect?
Yeah, so tonight what we're going to do, when everybody shows up here at 7 p.m. tonight, right over here on the corner, if you go to my X account, I actually put a nice little map together where I would like everybody to gather and rally, calling on all the Patriots over in Oregon, get their butts down here so we can do this. We're going to exercise our right to walk unimpeded down a sidewalk that the Portland Police Bureau even agrees it's our right to do so. However, you get assaulted for walking down that sidewalk. I have now gone from being in journalist mode. This thing upset me so bad as a red-blooded American. I'm done with journalist mode. Now I'm on to, you are calling people fascists and Nazis while restricting their rights because you don't like what they do. We're not doing that. I promise you, ma'am, we're walking down that sidewalk tonight, come hell or high water.
I'm nervous for you, Matt. If I'm being honest, I'm so glad that you're out there doing that because I agree that someone needs to stand up and say no more. I'm just really, really nervous for you guys. How secure do you feel with these? You know, you've got the dialogue liaison officers that you talked about that are wearing white. I mean, what is the federal police force like out there with all of the, the judges trying to prevent President Trump from doing what needs to be done?
Yeah, it's really demoralizing, number one, because, these guys end up feeling like they're going to win, and it is what it is. It's just certain things. It's a legal process. You expect that to happen, right? There's going to be ups and downs, but again, legal process is going to prevail. The Portland Police Bureau is clearly refusing to do their job.
Yeah.
Antifa actually came down here and shut down an entire city street, was blocking off a major intersection right up over here off to my right side, blocked an entire city intersection next to a very busy road. Cops were standing on the corner, 4 of them. Portland Police Bureau, not liaison officers, actually law enforcement officers. I mean, they're all technically law enforcement officers, but those ones are liaison to the city of Portland. They're just out here to keep the peace and to report things. They jumped in their truck and left. If you want to allow them to take over the street, that's fine. But at what point does it become dereliction of duty when you stand there knowing you're allowing these people to, one, violate the law, the same law that Nick got arrested for, disorderly conduct, and that same statute in ORS, taking over the streets in this manner also falls under that. But they won't enforce that statute. They'll only enforce the one that fits their narrative, apparently, in the city of Portland.
I would venture to guess, depending on how it goes tonight, you guys are going to have a legal fight ahead of you, which, by the way, I think probably will result in you guys successfully suing the city of Portland. So I want to make sure, I know that you have a fund that you're raising money for supplies and a potentially legal defense fund for everyone who is joining you and yourself to go stand up to Antifa. Where can people donate?
Yeah, so it's over on my X account at Anger Tab. It's like Ranger Tab, but with the R cut off. Or you can look me up by my name, Matt Tardio, and it'll pop up. It's a pinned comment up at the top. I actually started It's the quickest way to do it was through PayPal for a fundraiser. Everything wasn't organized, so I just kind of attempted to organize and start getting there.
I appreciate you being out there and standing up for what is right. And obviously, this should never happen in American cities. In American city, unfortunately, that is Portland, Oregon, in 2025. Okay, I want to make sure everyone make sure to go follow Matt and donate if you feel so led to donate to this legal defense fund. And
we are being transparent about all of it. So you're going to see the receipts of what we spend, where it goes, and why. And anything that's left over is going to go, when all of this is said and done, to cleaning up the neighborhood. So the people that live in these buildings, some of them are okay with it, but some of them aren't.
Yeah.
Either way, everybody deserves to live in a clean place. So I got a feeling the legal defense fund is going to get chewed up pretty quick. But if there is leftovers, we're going to be cleaning this place up. And as Patriots, we're going to be out here and picking up trash anyways. Just bought a bunch of trash bags today with some of the money people donated as well.
Well, you are a patriot, actually, Matt, and I appreciate you. Keep us posted, please, on how it goes tonight. And if you're still there, we may need to have you back on tomorrow, depending on if you're not locked up. Please don't get locked up, okay?
Well, I mean, if you do, I'll have a friend running my camera for me tonight.
Okay.
And it'll be streamed when that happens.
Be safe out there tonight. Thank you.
Ma'am.
Thanks. All right, before we go to break, want to thank our sponsor, Relief Factor. So Relief Factor is there for those of you just live in pain and you're like, this is just my life now. It's kind of sucks, but this is just my life now. No, it doesn't have to be that way. Try Relief Factor. It's an all-natural anti-inflammatory that actually targets the root cause of your pain, which is the inflammation in your body. So if you are one of those people who are living in pain and you're mad at your husband or your wife and your kids, you have like a short fuse because you're just constant pain. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start. It's less than $1 a day, $19.95. Okay, less than $1 a day to see if it can work for you. And if it could, it will be life-changing. ReliefFactor.com is where you can get that. That is ReliefFactor.com. Well, it turns out I wasn't being blacklisted by first buddy Matthew Mosden, who joins me today. He just, if you guys follow him on social media, which you should, he just underwent some surgery right there. Boy, Matt, that's quite a shaving nick.
I know.
I ever saw one.
So yeah, no, it's kind of crazy that it's literally been 2 weeks and 3 days since I had the surgery, and I'm up and around
And it was, tell everyone what was it?
So it was
he's old. It was the getting old and bad back surgery.
Thank you. No, it's true. No, I had 2-level disc replacement. So what they did was they went in there, they cut my neck, they moved everything over, Sarah, right? Went in, they put 2 screws into my spine, opened my spine, took the disc out, put a new disc in, closed it down, went to the next level, did it again, took it out, and it was, yeah.
He sent me the X-rays. It's pretty incredible to see the change, the stark contrast. But we're glad that you're back and you're.
I've missed you.
Feeling better. I know.
I've missed being on the show.
I feel like Matt's had a lot of FOMO because he hasn't been able to join us, and he's like, "You better not." Am I still first buddy?
Yeah, I was.
Don't be getting too comfortable without me.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I understand. However, I did notice that you did appear on InfoWars before my show. Anywho. Just kidding. It was with Brianna, and I love her. So
it was with Brianna. And listen, I couldn't drive, so I was actually on Brianna's show, high as a kite, because I was on hydrocodone. So I have no idea what I said. I don't know what I did. I have no idea. I probably could have been doing it naked.
Are you high right now?
No, because I'm driving. So I'm like right now I'm just on muscle relaxants and not any painkillers, believe it or not, which is kind of amazing.
I kind of want you to be high when you're on this show. Maybe we'll try that next time. We'll get you an Uber.
We need to go down to the Drinking Bros together. That's what we need to do. Yeah, we really do.
We'll get you an Uber next time, so we can see Matthew Marsden on hydrocodone. So. I just talked to Matt Tardio, who is on the streets of Portland. Obviously, what's happening in Portland is insane, but unfortunately, it's not the only city in America that all of that craziness is happening, because we've got Chicago that's happening as well. President Trump is still sending the National Guard to Chicago to stop all of the they're not peaceful protesters. I'd call them rioters, because what's happening is, this. Does that look like protesting to you? Because it doesn't to me. So this is over the same song and dance. Oh my God, ICE is coming in and taking out all of the illegal criminals, and we really love the illegal criminals. We want them to stay. And so on top of that, Matt, the Chicago police were actually ordered to ignore Border Patrol agents' plea for help. They got surrounded by an angry mob of protesters, and they were asking for backup as all of these agents, ICE agents, federal law enforcement officers who were asking for help, for backup. And Chicago police, they were ordered not to. Here's some of the audio of the police call.
And again, per the chief of patrol, we have all the units that per 999, chief of patrol said all units clear out from there. We're not sending anybody over to that location. All right, and 999, just to confirm, 39th Police in Kedzie, they were saying that they were being surrounded by that large crowd, and they were requesting the police were not sending. I'm waving off all the cars heading to 39th Police in Kedzie.
Again, those are the orders we're being given.
And it shouldn't come as a surprise, because instead of addressing this, instead of understanding that this is a real problem, you have Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, I always get that wrong, who went to CNN to basically shit on the ICE agents instead.
Well, we don't have a lot of facts. What happens in these sorts of incidents is typically ICE puts out a press release before anybody else can speak with the press, and then it gets reported on social media and elsewhere. Remember, these are the same folks who killed a person, unarmed person, just a couple of weeks ago in Franklin Park. So here it's really hard to know exactly what the facts are, and they won't let us access the facts. They are just putting out their propaganda, and then we've got to later determine what actually happened.
So you'll notice the down on the chyron there, it said officers fired shots at woman who, quote, rammed their vehicle. Yeah, she was ramming their vehicle and also had a weapon and was firing first, which CNN conveniently leaves out of their chyron there. So officers were surrounded. They were actively being assaulted. Their lives were being threatened. And instead, J.B. Pritzker is like, yeah, but let me tell you how it's ICE's fault.
Yeah, I mean, look, a car is a deadly weapon. Mm-hmm. It's as simple as that. Mm-hmm. And if you are ramming a police officer's car, they should be able to shoot to kill, to be honest, because it's a clear and present danger to the police officer's life. Look, I think we really need to have a serious discussion in this country about where we're going. Yeah. There is no consolidating with those people. It's not going to happen. We have a split America, and the sooner that we start having a serious conversation about how we move forward, because if this was back in the day, we had the McCarthyism, they went after the communists. This is what it is. These people are not America. They're not faithful Americans. They're not. Yeah. They're not. Because what ICE is doing here, they're just doing their job. By the way, nobody cared when Obama, the deporter in chief, was shipping thousands and thousands and thousands of these illegals away, but you didn't have the cameras following him, right?
Exactly.
You didn't see any of it. And every single time, and I've sitting in my sick bed, watching, going on X and watching social media, all I see, Sarah, is lies and lies and lies and lies. I see edited videos, selectively edited videos. And every single time, how many times have you seen this? ICE agents, because they all get all emotional, right? They took naked children. I'm like, okay, everyone's got a phone. Where's the picture? Mm-hmm. Are you telling me with 1,000 phones around there that you didn't get one picture of these naked children that they dragged? It's all lies. They have no credibility. And like I said, we have to have a serious conversation about what we do about this, because this is not going to go away. And I'll tell you this, if they ever get power again, that's going to be a very, very bad day for America. Seriously.
Well, that's the thing, though, Matt, because this is the issue, right? This was President Trump's top issue, I think, that when they were polled afterwards, after people voted, this was maybe it was the second. I want to say it was the first issue that was important to Americans, was the border situation is untenable and we have to have these mass deportations. It was extremely popular and part of the big reason that he won. And instead of Democrats understanding that and reflecting on it, they're doing what we're just talking about. J.B. Pritzker's doing it. And then you have the Democrat mayor of Chicago, Brandon Johnson, who is literally, I'm going to play you this clip. He's signing orders to ban ICE, to create ICE-free zones to prevent these people from coming in and doing, despite, Matt, we've played the videos on this show, despite people who live in the city, who go to city council meetings and saying, we can't do this. Please remove these illegals from our city. They're devastating us. And Brandon Johnson decides that his priority is to the illegal criminals and not to the own citizens of his city. Watch.
Today, we are signing an executive order aimed at reining in this out-of-control administration. The order establishes ICE-free zones. That means that city property and unwilling private businesses will no longer serve as staging grounds for these raids.
Reining in the out-of-control administration.
I mean, how dare they enforce the law? I mean, this is unbelievable. And I am going to say this, I'm going to address this to the camera. If you are a Chicago PD officer and you do not go and help your fellow law enforcement, shame on you. Shame on you. That's all I've got to say. You know the brotherhood. You know what you should be doing. One of the things that I learned when I very first came to this country and I did the movie Black Hawk Down was you leave no man behind. That is an absolute central tenet of this. This is why people get involved in law enforcement, because they know that their brothers are going to come and help them. And you're abandoning them. You're taking what's it? What am I trying to say? I am on muscle relaxants, by the way. I'm just saying. You're taking orders from people upon high instead of looking after your brother next door to you. It is despicable. Shame on you. Sort yourself out. Sort yourself out. Because this is despicable. It's despicable behavior.
And I can guarantee you that there is 100% alignment with the officers who were perfectly fine to like arrest moms at playgrounds during 2020 who were letting their kids play outside and not wearing masks and all of those. I guarantee you it aligns that the same officers who were more than willing to arrest American citizens for completely bogus offenses are the same ones who are going to leave their fellow law enforcement behind.
It's stopped being a vocation. I think it used to be when you wanted to be a policeman, it was because you wanted to uphold the law. Now it's just become a job, and that is a major problem. And, you know, throughout COVID, what you saw was the actual guys that had a set of balls would turn around and say, you know what, I'm not doing this because this is unconstitutional. It's absolutely wrong. And so what did they do? They left the force. A lot of them left the force.
Right.
So what do you have now? The majority of guys that bent the knee.
Yeah.
And by the way, Sarah, just want to say this as well.
hires.
There's a lot DEI hires, but also there are people that are waiting. And I know this in Portland. I know someone who's doing this right now, and they do want to get involved, but they're like 2 years away from their retirement. They're right there, and they're like, if I can just get this 2 years, I am out.
Yeah.
So that is not good.
Yeah.
Right? None of that is good, and that needs to change.
Yeah, you're right. All right, let's go ahead and take another quick break. We will be back with more, but I want to thank our sponsor of this segment, MDHearing. So if you actually like hearing if you are losing your hearing and you don't like listening to your spouse, then maybe just tune me out. I don't know. I guess they're like, my life's better if I can't hear all the nagging. I can't help you. But if you actually are upset that you are missing important conversations, you're missing part of life because you're not hearing everything. You're not hearing your family or your friends, or it's hard to hear at work and it's affecting your life. Go check my friends over at MDHearing out. They have a Neo model of hearing aid that it fits. Technology is great. It fits discreetly inside your ear, clear, natural sound for everyday conversation. And the Neo XS brings the same performance in the company's smallest, most subtle package yet. So no one's going to, it's not like the stigma before where it's this big giant thing on your ear. It's all the way in there. Nobody can see it. And by the way, my friends, I was shocked when I saw how much standard hearing aids cost. Have you ever seen this? It's like thousands of dollars for people to be able to hear again. Not so with MDHearing, because this was why it was designed. And ENT was like, oh, wow, no one can afford these things. That shouldn't be the case. And so they've got a risk-free trial. And you're going to save like 90% less off of regular hearing aids. You can go to shopmdhearing.com, use promo code Sarah to get a pair of hearing aids for $297. They're going to throw in a free extra charging case, $100 value for you if you use promo code Sarah. That is shopmdhearing.com. Get that pair of hearing aids for $297 plus that extra charging case. Shopmdhearing.com, promo code Sarah. I believe it was Maya Angelou who said, when someone shows you who they really are, believe them. Well, I think we should in the case of Jay Jones. He's a Democrat running for Attorney General of Virginia. And apparently, according to these leaked texts from 2022, he once called for putting 2 bullets in the head of a political rival and openly fantasized about murder. Again, do you see the common trend yet? I want to read these texts to House Delegate Kerry Coyner, a Republican, by the way. He said, if those guys die before me, I will go to their funerals to piss on their graves, send them out awash in something. Goes on to talk about Todd Gilbert, who is a Republican, who was Virginia House Speaker at the time, and says, 3 people, 2 bullets, Gilbert, Hitler, and Pol Pot. Gilbert gets 2 bullets to the head. Spoiler, put Gilbert in the crew with the 2 worst people you know, and he receives both bullets every time. And the person he was talking to, Coyner, gives him the chance to walk it back. It's like, all right, come on. Like, this is not good. This really bothers me when you talk about wishing harm on people. Jones then pushed back on that. But Coyner said, you were talking about hoping Jennifer Gilbert's children would die. He says, I've told you this before. Only when people feel pain personally do they move on policy. I mean, do I think Todd and Jennifer are evil and that they're breeding little fascists? Yes. In case you're wondering, these are the kids he wished harm. These are the kids he wished harm upon. That they're little fascists. I wish harm on them. Yes. And so the Virginia Beach Democrat Committee has reaffirmed its full support of Jay Jones for Attorney General since these text messages have been leaked. Abigail Spanberger, who is running for governor in Virginia, also has not called for him to drop out. So they're like, oh, it's fine. He just made some mistakes. It's totally fine. He still has our full support. That's the Democrat Party.
I mean, what you say to that?
Yeah.
I mean, these people are crazy. I mean, this is just insane.
That's why it's like people keep saying, well, there was only one gunman who killed Charlie Kirk. I mean, sure, technically, but if you don't think that this is actually totally rampant in the Democrat Party, how many examples of this do you need? How many more people have to die before we finally tackle the issue that the Democrats are violent and something has to change?
Yeah, I mean, what really, really shocked me was the week I don't even say the week after Charlie was murdered. You have to watch, you don't say his death, you say he was murdered because he was murdered.
Yeah.
They just did not for 5 seconds think, I better shut up, like this is bad. And that is because they are communists and they want you dead. They do want you dead. Mm-hmm. If COVID didn't tell us this, I don't know, people like all of a sudden shocked.
Right.
Because I remember when I came out, and I'm sure you did when you came out about the vaccine, they were like, you shouldn't get any medical care.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
And I'm like,
my kids too.
What is going on?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I said. There is no consolidating the 2 different halves of America. Those days are over. Mm-hmm. It's gone. So now, I don't know how we resolve that peacefully, but as far as I'm concerned, if they're saying those kinds of things, they better not get in power ever again. Ever again.
Right. Which brings us back to what we were talking about before. I just have a hard time believing that they're going to. They are so anti-American at this point. It's like the Democrat Party has now become the party of radical communists who believe the ends justifies the means, and they will lie, cheat, steal, and murder, we can add to that list, if it means getting power, getting more power. You have them. That is the Democrat Party. And then you have everyone else who is not that. That's it.
Yeah, but the problem is that they're very, very well funded. They're very well embedded in the institutions, whether it be in, tech, in pharma, even to their own detriment, right? Like people hate big pharma, but for some reason, the Democrats still get the money from them, which is kind of very, very weird. We are in, again, I don't see now. It's not going to end with Trump. It's just going to roll over. So what do we do about that? The good thing is Trump is getting all the illegals out. He's trying to take people who shouldn't be voting off the rolls. All these things are very important, but we still have judges, federal judges that are embedded, and they all need to go just to get back to normalcy. And this is what I was saying the other day, like, we don't even have a vision of where we want to be. All we're saying is we are hurtling towards communism and we want to just get back to being a constitutional republic. It's not even giving a vision of where we need to go or hope or, it's just like we don't want that. And that's very, very dangerous because we need to project hope. We really do. And I haven't heard any of that, even from the Republicans. They're fighting, right? They're in the trenches. Trump is.
Sure.
But when did you hear anything like really positive from the Republicans? I haven't heard anything really positive from the Republicans.
I mean, I would say like their social media accounts, I don't know that I would call it positive, but they are trying to have fun with all of these, the things that they're doing. But then again, it's like, well, what is the positive message? The Democrats are fighting them at every turn. But I think the American people see that. And I think that they're hip to it now. I think that they're alert and awake. And I just don't think that that's going to fly anymore. I really don't.
I hope not.
Matthew Marsden, first buddy, Matthew Marsden, he's going to make up for lost time this week. I assure you. I know you have been missed, so I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I want to thank our sponsor, this segment, Shopify. So if you go to AmericanBeautyBySarah.com right now, you will find Shopify is what I use for my e-commerce platform. So go see how good it looks, okay? And then buy some lipstick while you're at it. But Shopify is really great because whatever e-commerce you're doing, if you're like this giant organization, or if you are just this mom and pop thing and you just need a little bit of help, they've got templates that you can use. It's very, very easy. And a lot of people are like me. You don't know what the hell you're doing when it comes to like selling on a website. They make it very, very simple. Their mobile app is truly one of a kind. So if you're ready to sell, you're ready for Shopify. I'm just saying, turn your big business idea into with Shopify on your side. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/Sarah. That is shopify.com/Sarah. Now, when we return, I want to catch up with an old friend. I've had her on the show before, but she is someone who is also going to be the turning point when we come back. Obviously, the work of Turning Point USA has never been more important, holding debates, speaking at college campuses across the country. But there's still a lot of resistance in places you wouldn't expect, including here at home, Texas Christian University. I thought I would lead with their full name. It's not TCU. TCU is actually short for Texas Christian University. They actually denied an event for tomorrow where my friend Chloe Cole was set to host a Turning Point USA event. And I have Chloe Cole in studio with me right now. Thanks for being here, Chloe. You look lovely.
Thank you for having me on the show again.
Yeah, of course. So tell me what's been happening with this Turning Point event, because I saw the headlines that they were not allowing you guys to do the event. And then now the university is coming back and saying, actually, the venue was just never booked. And I have a hard time buying that.
Right. So technically, on paper, the event wasn't scheduled and they couldn't cancel anything, but that's the exact tactic that these universities use. They use all these technicalities, they put in all these ridiculous hoops you have to jump through in place in order to run these events. And because it's so impractical, you're forced to either not do them at all successfully or to move off campus like we've had to. I mean, there's a local Baptist church, the Birchman Baptist Church, that has been very gracious in giving us our space and allowing us to have our event on their grounds. But obviously, it would have been, if we just had the appropriate provisions, if we were allowed to have the space that we needed in order to do this event on campus, that would have been preferable, because having it on campus just makes it so much more accessible to the generation that needs to be hearing this the most, especially those who are facing this ideology head on in their personal lives with their family and learning, like having to face this head on in school.
Yeah. Well, right, because that's one of the main places where they're getting indoctrinated. And obviously, Chloe speaks about this. For those of you who don't know her, which I'm sure all of you do, but for those of you who are not familiar with Chloe, Chloe has a very personal story about the detransition of her entire life and being. And these doctors, these medical staff walked her into, at some places, irreversible procedures that, no, you're trans. Yeah, you're definitely trans. No, you should definitely get a double mastectomy. No, you should. Yeah, no, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not like you're just a normal teenager with normal identity issues. No, go ahead and please keep doing this. And now Chloe has a story to tell. And I do think, Chloe, you are very threatening to this ideology because you are the actual personal proof that this is not correct because you went through it. You lived it. It's much easier to be a counselor or, a professor or whatever on these college campuses who want to make sure that you know that their identities or their pronouns are they, them, or whatever the hell they want to choose. And it's very easy for them to go off and talk about how this is the way things should be. You lived it. So you are an actual danger to their ideology.
I mean, this entire ideology there's nothing scientific about it. The only ground it stands on is testimony and completely subjective measures. And the moment that a story like mine comes out, it takes just one story of harm directly from it, especially one that hits close to home for parents, for families, for communities, because it happened to a child, to take it all down.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so I want to get your take on the fact that you have TCU, again, should be Texas Christian University. You would hope that you would not have to expect this type of behavior. Unfortunately, there is maybe 2 college campuses across the country that are immune from this, that I feel quite confidently would be immune from this type of thing. But this school, knowing that they accidentally didn't book your venue and you had to move your event, which thank God you were able to do that. I invite everyone in the Metroplex to please attend. If you are around, make sure that you go to this tomorrow night, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Birchman Baptist Church over in Fort Worth. Make sure that you go there. But this same school who oopsied you from being able to attend this Turning Point event recently allowed the Spectrum Drag Show on campus, an event that celebrates gender diversity. We encourage all guests to use the bathroom that feels the safest and most comfortable for them. Also, on top of that, they have these flyers posted around campus explaining a bunch of gay sex acts, which again is like super wild for a Christian university, Chloe.
I mean, what they're doing right now goes against the very tenets of our faith. This goes against what we are taught about sexuality, about sex, about female and male itself. And I think that universities in general are in a unique place where they can uphold our culture and they should be standing for free speech, for every perspective to come together. And especially ones that uphold our values as Americans. But this is a historically Christian university. It has Christ in the name. At the very least, they should be honoring that. Yeah. Or change their name. They might as well be Texas Pagan University at this point.
Right. You're right.
And this is a time when we are literally being martyred for speaking out, for evangelizing, even just for being in our places of worship. Mm-hmm. And you think at the very least, after all of the death that has been happening in the last month, that they would be honoring faith-based and conservative voices. Mm-hmm. If they clearly don't, they clearly do not care. I've spoken to 3 different universities already this semester. 2 of those were in Texas, and one of them pulled together an event in just 2 days with perfect security, with everything that we needed. If they cared, they would have absolutely worked with us.
Yeah.
No problem.
Of course. But again, you are a threat to their ideology because unfortunately, regardless of the name that they have of what historically they are supposed to represent, they have been infiltrated by all of these communists who take these positions as professors and counselors and, all of these places within the Board of Regents, the college presidents. I mean, they are all indoctrinated by this.
Right. It's in the curriculum.
Yeah.
It's in their rules. They don't even allow baptisms on campus anymore because they say it's dangerous to have that 2 feet of water that somebody could drown in.
You're kidding.
If you're baptizing an adult, there's no way that somebody's going to drown in 2 feet of water. You'll notice, though, I mean, TCU they're known for their football team, and yet they have no DAI initiatives for their football team. You don't see transgender people in wheelchairs on their football team.
Yeah.
I mean, if they really cared about diversity, equity, and inclusion, they'd have something for their football team, and they're known for most, right?
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's true because, by the way, my perspective. No, I'm not assigning Chloe this opinion, but like, we all know that black guys are better at football. So why don't they put a bunch of white guys on the team? Why? Because they don't care when it comes to their football. That's where all the money comes from. And they know that DEI is not a successful way to run things. Let me ask you before I let you go, Chloe, let me ask you, I remember, I don't think it was the last time you were on the show, but a couple times before that, we talked about your trial, your case against Kaiser Permanente. I have been a very, very staunch advocate. I have told people a million times, you have to sue people. You have to sue whoever it is. You have to sue the colleges that are, or the schools that are hiding gender identities from parents. You have to sue the hospitals who are doing this to kids and their parents. I mean, we need to sue our way out of this. What is the latest with your trial?
So I've had incredible news in just the last week. I recently learned after years of Kaiser trying to bury my case in the appellate court and try to compel us into arbitration, we're going to court.
Wow. You're going to have a full-blown trial.
Yes, I will.
Is it going to be public?
I believe so, yes. And I want to expose Kaiser.
Yeah.
I want all the information about what they have been, the abuse that they have been doing to children, to families in California, across the country, to all be put out there. Because that is what it's going to take for them to finally get shut down.
Amen.
At least with their gender clinic system.
Amen, sister. I mean, you saw it happen in the UK. It definitely can happen here. This is what I say. People are silly if they think that you're going to change these crazy people's ideology. You're not going to change their ideology, but if you can make them scared to go bankrupt, that would be a way to make them stop. And however we can make them stop mutilating children, let's just do that, right?
Right.
So I think that this is setting a huge precedent. Do you know when this is supposed to start, the trial?
I don't have an exact date. It's
Okay.
probably the legal system. It's just,
I know.
It's slow. It's probably going to be about like another year or so until we get a date at the very least.
Okay.
But I am really excited for what's coming moving forward, and I have a lot of hope.
Yeah. Good. Good for you. It's so good to see you, and you just look beautiful. And I'm just, I know I've told you this before, Chloe, but I'm a mom and I have this motherly instinct, and I'm just gonna try to say this without crying. I'm so incredibly proud of your bravery. You are preventing an entire generation behind you from being sterilized and mutilated, and you should feel really, really proud of that every day. I'm so thankful for your voice.
Thank you. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you giving me the time to
Of course.
talk about all of this.
Of course, Chloe. So make sure, she's going to make me cry. Make sure that you go to, if you guys are in the area in Fort Worth, Texas, make sure you attend tomorrow night, October 7th. It is at 7 p.m. Go there, support Chloe. Birchman Baptist Church. Doors open at 6:30. Make sure and go tell her hello. That is it for us, and we will see you guys tomorrow. Good night.